we lost our obsession with sport. Moving forward, we will lead with sport and put the athlete at the center of every decision.
This is not a story that 6 months from now we're going to be cheering about. This is going to be an 18-month plus show me how you're going to compete with all the smaller brands that have come from behind and the customers fallen in love with.
In 2020, COVID hit. Nike cut out retail partners like Foot Locker, Dick's Sporting Goods, ... And it was the same year Caitlyn Clark enrolled at Iowa, the perfect storm. Fast forward 4 years, Caitlyn is the storm, and Nike is ill-prepared to handle her brand explosion. If you are a Nike athlete and you are launching a full-on signature shoe in 2025 and your name isn't Caitlyn Clark, two things are true. One, your fans most likely won't go to the ends of the earth and or move heaven and earth to get your shoe. Two, retail partners are still in the process of welcoming Nike back into the fold and their premium shelf spaces.
I own the moment, I own the floor. Every play's a move they can't ignore. With every drive I'm breaking through. Caitlyn ones, just watch what I do.
Picture this. Caitlyn Clark is the WNBA's version of a supernova, a player so electric she's breaking records faster than a kid breaking a piñata at a birthday party. So why hasn't Nike slapped her name on a signature shoe and unleashed it on the world? Well, folks, buckle up, because today we're diving into facts as to why Nike might be a little, let's say, gun-shy about giving Caitlyn her own kicks. While Nike is sleeping on the physical Caitlyn ones, we're dropping a digital version in music form. Let's get into it.
Nike has fallen behind, and I think that's illustrative of the fact that they've had a bit of a lull when it comes to innovation. If you don't have that, then the kind of scale that Nike has achieved isn't worth much if you don't have the growth.
Let's break it down. First off, Nike is like that friend who shows up to the poker night and suddenly gets scared to go all in. Why? Innovation, or lack thereof. Competitors like Hoka and On Running have been out there playing chess while Nike has been playing checkers. These brands are dropping shoes so fresh, they might as well come with their own air fresheners. Meanwhile, Nike, they've been, well, let's just say their recent releases feel more like yawn than dawn of a new era. And Caitlyn Clark is not the athlete to pair with a snooze fest sneaker. Clark is like catching lightning in a bottle. Scratch that. More like catching lightning, putting it in a bottle, and then teaching it to shoot threes. But to make her signature shoe a slam dunk, Nike needs a shoe that feels as groundbreaking as her half-court bombs. Right now, their innovation pipeline is more clogged than a sink after Thanksgiving dinner.
Inventory piled up as consumers started to pull back and turn to other brands.
But it's the flatline growth in North America, which is more suspect and harder to blame on the macro, especially when Adidas is growing its chief competitor because it has more innovative styles that people are really gravitating toward. It became clear that Nike not firing on all cylinders on the innovation front was really when the problem started beginning. And it ceded market share to players, particularly in the running space, like On and Hoka.
Everybody
Sneakers.
wears these.
Yes, this is the Hoka Clifton 9. It is the hottest running
Why is
shoe
it so
of the
hot?
summer.
Then there's the inventory problem. Nike shelves are so packed, it's like a hoarder's garage sale. And let me tell you, nothing screams polar opposite to exclusive like a shoe you can find on every discount rack from here to Timbuktu. For a Caitlyn shoe to work, it has to feel rare, like finding a parking spot at Costco on Saturday. And right now, Nike's got a little too much of everything.
He was the CEO of ServiceNow. He was the CEO of eBay. So he came from Silicon Valley.
Under Donahoe, Nike began moving towards a more direct-to-consumer model, or DTC, by pushing sales directly from its own platforms and stores.
What Nike did is they decided, let's focus on DTC. It's a higher margin business. And of course, they want to keep the best releases for themselves. And therefore, they pulled back from some of their long-standing partners, like Foot Locker, for example.
But wait, there's more. Nike has also been tangled up in what I like to call the DTC dilemma. Direct to consumer. It's like when your uncle decides to start selling homemade jam on Instagram. Sounds cool in theory, but then he realizes nobody's buying because the grocery store has better options. By pulling out of partnerships with major retailers, Nike lost its prime shelf space. And guess what? That's exactly where Caitlyn's shoe needs to be. Front and center, winking at you like it knows you'll mortgage your soul to buy it.
Meanwhile, net sales of emerging competitors Hoka and On Running have both increased over 30% in recent quarters. Even established rivals like Adidas and Asics have seen growth while Nike has declined.
And speaking of competition, Adidas, Hoka, On Running, a former Nike runner turned CEO after Nike rejected his shoe idea, have been eating Nike's lunch. And not just a sandwich. I'm talking about chips, soda, dessert, and their lunch money too, to the tune of $28 billion. These brands are dropping shoes that make people go, shut up and take my money. Meanwhile, Nike's been kind of, well, let's just say they're not exactly the cool kid at the lunch table anymore.
The core problem at the end of the day is that the North American consumer started seeing Nike as being a little bit cheapened because there was such an excess of product. And this goes back to the idea of when you have too much, you become less interesting, you become less popular, you become less cool. If there's no line outside of a club, most people aren't walking in.
Which brings us to the big picture, Nike's brand perception. Back in the day, Nike was the cool kid with the hottest kicks. Now, it's like they're the uncle still rocking cargo shorts at a wedding. Caitlyn Clark's shoe needs to be different, hit different. It has to feel like the future. And right now, Nike's struggling to get out of yesterday. Now, let's talk leadership. Nike's new CEO, Elliott Hill, is stepping in like a substitute teacher trying to wrangle a classroom full of chaos. He's focused on clearing out inventory and going back to basics. But let's be real, this guy's walking into a minefield. But here's the thing, Caitlyn Clark isn't just any athlete. She is the closest thing we've seen to the next Michael Jordan, lightning in a bottle. Tiger, Serena, they were close, but not quite the same MJ effect for Nike. And Steph, well, they blew that. But even Steph at Under Armour didn't get to the MJ scale in the shoe business. And let's not forget, Nike wasn't exactly a sure bet when they launched Jordan's line. They went all in, and it paid off like hitting the Powerball lottery. So, here's the pitch. While Nike is getting their house in order, we're keeping the hype alive. The Caitlyn One song is here to remind Nike and everyone else that Caitlyn Clark is a movement, not just a moment. And when the signature shoe finally drops, it better hit harder than her half-court buzzer beaters. At the end of the day, Nike's delayed launch and delivery isn't about Caitlyn, it's about Nike. They're trying to find their footing in a world where competition is fiercer than ever, and their own moves have been shakier than a toddler on ice skates. But here's the deal. Caitlyn Clark is the kind of rare that's generational. Not everyone qualifies for this tag. So, Nike, if you're listening, it's time to lace up and join the movement. So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for all the comments and the votes for your favorite version of Game Night. The winner is version 3 for track 7 of the Clarkanium 22 album dropping on January 1st. Now, Nike might not have delivered the Caitlyn One's sneaker yet, but the digital version in song goes live for downloads today on Clarkanium.com at 12:22 Eastern Time. I hope you enjoy the Caitlyn One's track, and let's keep Caitlyn Clark momentum rolling. Because whether it's on the court, in music, or on your feet, Caitlyn Clark is pure fire, and Nike, the ball is in your court. Caitlyn Fever fans, until the physical Caitlyn Ones are delivered, let's make the digital Caitlyn Ones bigger and hotter than any physical shoe drop in 2025. Until next time, keep ballin'. What does it mean to be one of one?
Lace up my Caitlyn ones, I'm ready to fly. Black and gold lows, I'm reaching the sky. From Iowa courts to the fever flame, every step I take is changing the game. Feel the rhythm, hear the crowds roar. Step back threes, I'm built to score. No look dimes, I'm setting the tone. Caitlyn ones, I make this court my throne. I own the moment, I own the floor. Every play's a move they can't ignore. With every drive I'm breaking through. Caitlyn ones, just watch what I do. In my Caitlyn ones, I light up the night. Step back threes, everything feels right. Dimes on strings, yeah, I'm in my zone. In my Caitlyn ones, on this court I own. Red and white heat, feel the fever burn. Every move's a lesson, every game's a turn. From the arc to the paint, it's all in my stride. I'm a force of nature with the game on my side. They can't hold me back, my shoes stay low. Quick on my feet, I control the flow. Every step's a legacy, every shot's a mark. Caitlyn ones, turning games into art. I own the moment, I own the floor. Every play's a move they can't ignore. With every drive I'm breaking through. In my Caitlyn ones, just watch what I do. In my Caitlyn ones, I light up the night. Step back threes, everything feels right. Dimes on strings, yeah, I'm in my zone. In my Caitlyn ones, on this court I own. Feel the black for my focus, gold for my crown. Red for the fire that won't back down. Every lace-up's a promise, every game's my fight. Caitlyn ones shining under the lights. They doubted the rise, but now they all see. These shoes are built for a legacy. It's not just a game, it's a way of life. Caitlyn ones cuts through doubt like a knife. In my Caitlyn ones, I'm changing the game. Step back threes, they'll remember the name. Dimes on strings, yeah, I'm in my zone. In my Caitlyn ones, on this court I own. Lace up my Caitlyn ones, the story's begun. Every step I take, I'm second to none. From hardwood glory to legends told. In my Caitlyn ones, black, red, and gold.